Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Islamic Preacher and Apologist. If you came here through social media, please check the YouTube channel for the entire footage. Now let's begin. Who exactly is Christian Prince? Now, I've been wanting to create this video for approximately a year. However, about a year ago, I didn't know how to put this video together, and I think now is the right time. Christian Prince is from a place called Egypt. This is something which I strongly believe, that he would not tell anyone. David Wood once asked him, "Where do you come from?" He beautifully skipped the answer. Now you must be wondering, how did I find out? Well, it was around the time in which Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah Skyped him. And after that, he started attacking Muhammad Hijab in many of his YouTube videos, on many of his YouTube debates. After this particular event, Christian Prince could not stop talking about Muhammad Hijab. During that time period, I started watching a bit of Christian Prince's videos and what he has to say about Muhammad Hijab. And I wanted to see his anger, his frustration. So it slipped out of his tongue. He said, "Muhammad Hijab, he's from the same country as me, he's from Egypt." Now, I've got nothing against Egyptians or Egypt. All I would though say is that the Pharaoh is also from Egypt, who is of course the worst person of the entire Holy Quran. But I will tell you, why am I speaking about Egypt? Egypt has a lot of pagan history. Musicians that want a lot of popularity use a lot of Egyptian symbolism. In the music industry, there is also a trend of humiliating Allah's name.
There is a woman who goes by the name of Nicki Minhaj. In one of her songs, she says, "Assalam alaikum," and then she utters an expletive, is Akbar. Assalam alaikum, where the F is Akbar.
Do you think it was an accidental mistake of Christian Prince that he tried to squeeze Paul in the Holy Quran? I will get back to that, but first I would like you to watch this.
How does magic work? Magic is an agreement between the shaitan on one side and the magician on the other. The magician agrees to do certain things for the shaitan, and then of course the shaitan agrees in return to do certain things for the magician. Now let's go and have a look at what magicians do with the Quran. This is a public sewer. It's full of, waste and excrement. We'll show you another video. This one has 51 copies of the Mus'haf that have been disgraced by the magicians. As you can see, they are covered. These are all copies of the Quran.
The Satan gives you whatever it is that you want by disrespecting the Holy Quran. Physically, verbally, mentally, whichever way possible. Now I know that David Wood is not from Egypt, but Egypt is where black magic is mastered. Now let's look into the Apostle Paul.
One of Paul's core teachings is the idea that salvation is achieved through faith in Jesus alone and not any kind of works.
But what does it say? The word is near you, it is in your mouth and in your heart. That is the message concerning faith that we proclaim. If you declare with your mouth, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Romans 10:8-10.
And not works. Let's take a look at the original passage in the book of Deuteronomy. The word is very near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart, so you may obey it. Notice the problem.
Identification number one is, if he asks you your name and your mom's name, then he is a black magician.
Christian Prince never tells people his name. Never. When the fact is, there are many people of the same name. Black magic is also done by using someone's image. You want to send some sort of negative energy to someone. Usually those people that are involved don't want to become a victim themselves.
But again, there's about as many deities to pick from as there are like stars in the sky. So some people will choose to worship like the Christian devil and work with that. Satanic Temple, a lot of them are good friends of mine.
The problem with Christian Prince is that we can't even call him Christian. He has in the past even disrespected biblical accounts. The Noah's Ark is also mentioned in the Bible. How could he criticize those verses which are similar to biblical text? The second thing is he never really or rarely ever promotes the gospel. He only says, peace of Christ with you always. And he has to say that because he has to lure in a certain type of audience. In disguise, he's also making the Christians disbelievers. So just in case any Christian does think of looking into the Bible, he would have already ruined their hearts in advance. There is something else that I'd like to tell you about Arab countries. There are two types of Arab countries. There are those Arab countries which are elite in positions such as Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar. In those rich Arab countries, the Arabs themselves are either rich or well-to-do. Their schools, colleges or universities are of high quality. These category of Arabs go to British or American schools, colleges or universities. And you can notice that from their English.
This is the reality of it.
That's please carry on.
No, so and that's just it. You know, it's only biased if we accept your worldview, which is wrong and not historical.
Yeah. I want to reiterate this for the kids in the back of the room.
And this isn't some recent fact. I've been noticing for the past 10 years that the Arabs are speaking very good quality English. However, this is largely dependent on which part of the Middle Eastern region they actually belong to. By the way, you should be able to judge this yourself too. Judging from Christian Prince's English, it doesn't even look like he actually went to a private school, but rather a public-funded school. And using language such as scumbag, potato, stupid, donkey continuously doesn't reflect someone who comes from an upper-class background. I understand people do use words like the B word or the F word, etc., but some people who continuously use the wrong language, you should think something about them. Remember, the way you behave with others, it should say something about you. Unless somebody tempts you to use bad language, some people actually make us behave outside the norms of our typical etiquettes. Then it's a different thing, and you could normally spot the difference. Randomly select any video of Mohammed Hijab in Speaker's Corner. You would notice how he speaks to people on an average day. Christian Prince most probably had no other option other than become friends with the Satan. If we look into the way in which Christian Prince lives his life, the way he isolates himself, the way he deals with people, the attitude, the behavior.
And if he instructs you to be in a dark room for a certain period of time and be in the dark room for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 11 days. So if he tells you to be secluded, and if he asks you to do certain kind of rituals in the dark room, then he is a magician.
However, there are other people who are involved with him too.
Hello?
Hey, Christian Prince, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine.
Bob the Builder, however, does show his face, but hides his identity too. Paganists could decide to disclose some things, hide other things. Whether they have done something in a particular Middle Eastern country, whatever it is, these things are quite debatable. You would be interested to know that it's not just Muslims that attack Trinity, but it's also Christians as well. There are many videos to look into, such as the Pagan Origins of Christianity. These videos are in the description box below. Please do have a look at them. Surprisingly, these are not even created by Muslims. If you're going to point fingers at Islam, then I have already debunked the 3 goddesses of the pre-Islamic era. Surah 53, which talks about these goddesses in verse number 19, so have you considered Allat and Al-Uzza and Manat, the third, the other one? It adds to that the following: they are not but mere names, you have named them, you and your forefathers, for which Allah has sent down no authority. They follow not except assumption and what their souls desire, and there has already come to them from their Lord guidance. If you want to see the entire video, the video is in the description box below.
How did the pagan trinity get into the Bible? The first person to use the Bible in order to promote his Trinitarian views was none other than Philo of Alexandria, a 1st century Jewish Greek philosopher. Philo used these Old Testament verses. Philo wrote that Genesis 1:26 meant that God created all things with the help of two other divine beings or creators.
Although other religions for thousands of years before Christ was born worshipped a triune God, the Trinity was not part of Christian dogma and formal documents of the first 3 centuries after Christ. That there was no formal established doctrine of the Trinity until the 4th century is a fully documented historical fact.
Another way these magicians actually get all of what they want is they actually humiliate themselves. Why? Because the Creator made mankind the best. Better than the Satan, meaning the shaitan, better than the jinn, better than the angels. This person over here is humiliating God's decision. Whatever the Satan will ask him to do to humiliate himself, he will do. If he will ask you to commit a homosexual act, he will do that. If he asks him to dance naked, he would even do that. The dirtier the magic, the dirtier the act involved to achieve it. Christian Prince humiliates the name Abdul, a shorter version of the name Abdullah. Abdullah means the servant of God. He wants to humiliate the servants of God. And the servants of God are actually Muslim, and you need to understand that. So what do you think of me exposing his intent? If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. But remember, Paul is not in the Holy Quran. And yes, don't forget to watch the links in the description box below. Thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye.